Hey, welcome to the Village of Buchanan, May 7th board meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so we have a lot of minutes to approve, and we've been doing it in a group, a bulk. So the approval, I'd like to make a motion to approve the meetings of January 23rd, 2024, February 6th, February 8th, February 27th, March 5th, March 26th, April 2nd, April 3rd, April 16th, April 23rd, and one was a workshop meeting, and one on April 23rd was a special meeting.
I just want to say I'm abstaining from January 23rd through March 26th because I was not on the board.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to make a motion to approve those minutes. Can I have a second?
Second.
On a question? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Comments from the floor, agenda items only? Any comments? Okay. Under new business, this evening, we are hiring 2 new highway people, and they're here this evening. One is, and if you could stand up so everyone can see who you are. The first is Alan Porter Jackson as laborer. Hello. And Michael Eichler as MEO. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for joining us. So I'd like to make a motion to hire Alan Porter Jackson as a laborer at an annual rate of $45,000 as of May 10th, 2024, and to hire Michael Eichler as an MEO at the annual rate of $70,000 as of May 28th, 2024. Can I have a second?
Second.
On a question? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Welcome aboard. Would any of you like to say anything?
Thank you.
Okay, you're good. Okay.
How about Scott? Does the guy want to say?
Scott, do you want to come up? You have anything to say?
Come on, Scott, say something.
I'd just like to thank you for hiring these 2 guys. I mean, Alan's working with us right now, seasonal help, and it'll be nice to have him transition to full-time. And Mike will be with us in a couple of weeks, and so we just look forward to having him with us. So thank you for giving us a couple new guys. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Most people call him Scoot. His name is Scott, but we call him Scoot. And it's good timing because I know the busy season is here now. The pool prep, the grass cutting, the this, the that. Yeah, you guys are busy. You need the help. The next, I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing regarding outside sewer use fee. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm just going to read a few of the changes from here. So the property owner shall be responsible for the service lateral up to the point of connection to the village collection system. Under sewer rents, users of the sewer wastewater system located outside of the corporate limits of the Village of Buchanan shall be 50% more than for those for the use or class of service located inside the village. Failure to remit payment within 60 days shall be a violation punishable by a fine not exceeding $250 and/or 15 days in jail. And each day of the offense beyond 60 days will be considered a separate day. The village has authority to issue violations, fees, summons, liens, and other measures to out-of-district users which violate the regulations and standards established by this chapter. And any person's firm, association, or corporation or agent thereafter convicted of a violation of this article should be required to reimburse the village for any fines from state and county agencies and costs for any remedial or corrective action required to restore or repair the condition to the satisfaction of the village engineer or any other permitting or regulatory authority. Any person's firm, association, or corporation or agent violating any provision of this article shall be guilty of a violation upon conviction, therefore shall be punished by a fine not to exceed $250 or imprisonment for up to 15 days or both. Each day shall constitute a separate and distinct offense, punishable by a like fine or penalty as set forth herein. And notwithstanding the penalties herein above, provided the Village of Buchanan may maintain an action or proceeding in a court of competent jurisdiction to compel compliance with or to restrain by injunction the violation of any provision of this article. The foregoing provisions for enforcement of the regulations in this article are not exclusive, but are in addition to any of all applicable laws thereto. And any person's firm, association, or corporation or agent thereafter convicted of a violation of this article shall be required to reimburse the village for any fines from state or county agencies or costs for any remediation, corrective action required to restore or repair the condition to the satisfaction of the village engineer or any other permitting or regulatory authority. Any person's firm, association, or corporation or agent violating any provision of this article shall be guilty of a violation, and upon conviction thereof shall be punished by a fine not to exceed the sum of $250 or imprisonment up to 15 days or both. Each day shall constitute a separate and distinct offense punishable by like fine or penalty. Notwithstanding the penalties herein above, provided the Village of Buchanan may maintain an action or proceeding in court of competent jurisdiction to compel compliance with or to restrain by injunction the violation of any provision. So these are things that we needed to add into for outside users. Just want everyone to be aware what the changes were of it. Marcus, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I want to thank Stephanie and George. We worked on this very closely to update our code to protect the village's interests from outside users. And this, like you said, this will affect the inside village residents, but only out people connected to our sewer system. With the liability that goes along with that, like, for example, if they do something illegally, there's a $37,000 per day fine from the DEC. So we will make sure we protect our sewer system from outside users. So this is all what we're doing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members would like to make a comment before I send it out for a
I just have a
public?
question. This has to
Sure.
do with any new connections also, right?
If they're outside
Outside.
the IMA agreement, so if within the IMA agreement, the IA agreement will supersede anything outside that's not within the IMA agreement, this will
Thank you. That was my
take
question.
control.
Okay.
That's a good question. Any comments from the floor? All right, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing. Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, now I'd like to, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
So I'd like to make a motion regarding the outside sewer use fees that I have read, amending Chapter 155 entitled Sewers to the Code of Village of Buchanan. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. The next, I'd like to open the public hearing regarding updating Attachment 5 in Chapter 211 zoning, Schedule B, Stormwater Control Facility Maintenance Agreement. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Marcus, this one I'm going to hand to you.
Sure, stormwater management facilities, some of the development we talked about in the past, the stormwater retention system, the state has made some modifications to the state law. And our code, this two-page document is in our code, so it has to be updated to match the state regulations. So all we do is replacing the current state code to the old state code that's in the code, that's in our village code. So we're just replacing it to keep up to date with the state requirements.
Okay. So another updating.
Correct.
Okay, any comments from the board? Questions, comments? Any comments from the audience? Questions? No? Okay. I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion regarding updating Attachment 5 in Chapter 211, the zoning, Schedule B, Stormwater Control Facility Maintenance Agreement. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next is something we do every year, and we do this before the end of our fiscal year, which is the end of May, because June 1st starts the new fiscal year for us. So I'd like to make a motion for the unpaid water charges to be relevied to the tax bill. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second.
On a question, Cindy, this isn't just the previous water bill. This is,
This is all of the water bills from 2023.
okay. So if they had a balance from 2023, these would be the people on that?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. And this is another thing we do every year before the end of our fiscal year, for the treasurer to make the required budget transfers. Are there any questions from the board on this? Okay, yeah, this is something we do every year. Okay, I'd like to make a motion for the treasurer to make all required budget transfers, capital project transfers and amendments, interfund transfers, adjustments, and amendments to close the 2023-2024 fiscal year as required for the annual audit. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. So the next is, I'd like to ask Chief Bob Outhouse to come up. This year, the village Buchanan Engine sponsors the Tri-Village Memorial Day Parade. So each year, one of the Tri-Village fire departments sponsor the Memorial Day Parade, and this year, it's the Village of Buchanan. So Bob, if you could just give us an update on the day, the time, the route of the parade, and what happens, you know, where the ceremony is and after the ceremony.
Sure.
That'd be great, thank you.
Sure. So, again, we're lining up at 10:30 at the intersection of Henry Street and Tate Avenue. The apparatus will approach from the Tate Avenue side to keep it all straight down. We'll move at 11 p.m. down Tate Avenue through the circle to Westchester to the pavilion. At that time, we'll have our ceremony in front of the pavilion at the memorial monument there. Brief ceremony, and then we will move to the pavilion to have some light refreshments, hot dogs and soda and water.
That'd be nice.
That's really it. Hopefully some good weather.
Yes, well, I don't know, it's been raining nonstop, but, except for today. And also this year, we have a Buchanan resident who has volunteered to sing the national
Yes.
anthem, and it's not me. So,
Yes.
yes,
Thank you
she's got a
very much.
beautiful voice.
And she will be in the program.
Yes, thank you, good.
Thank
That's
you.
Stella from the Running Club. Wonderful. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
So I'd like to make a motion to waive the pavilion fee for the Tri-Village Memorial Day Parade on May 27th, 2024. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and every year, the Buchanan Engine submits their fundraising for the year, and the golf outing will be September 6th, the clam bake, October 13th, and the calendar drive is fall and ongoing. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the planned fundraisers. Can I have a second?
Second.
On a question? Anyone have comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, the next is we're going to be scheduling a public hearing on a zoning text amendment. And this will be for our meeting in June, the first Tuesday of the month. Stephanie, do you want to review the zoning text amendment, or Marcus?
It's column 3, it's the schedule of use regulations, attachment 1.
And what we're allowing, what we did previously was 1 and 2 bedroom multifamily apartment dwellings, two-family dwellings, could have a maximum of 12 dwellings per 40,000 square feet. It excluded townhouses, which were only allowed to have a maximum of 6 dwelling units per 40,000 square feet. So we would be looking to amend it to allow townhouses to be the same, treated the same as two-family dwellings or apartments. That's basically the change.
Okay, good,
And,
thank
you
you.
know-
And we'll be discussing it next month.
Yeah, and you can
at the
discuss
public
whether there's
hearing.
some sort of rationale about that or not, because you have a two-family dwelling that can have 12, but townhouses can't. So that's probably the conversation we should have. And
Okay,
that's for next month.
okay, good. All right, just wanted to give everybody a heads up. So I'd like to make a motion to schedule for a public hearing on the zoning text amendment for June 4th, 2024. Can I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay, good. The next is adding ticket fines to the fee schedule, and basically this is updating our fine schedule to the fee schedule. So I'd like to make a motion to add, to update the fine schedule to the fee schedule. Can I have a second?
Second.
On a question?
On a question, Mayor?
Sure.
I can't understand why we still left 4 of the fines at the $30 limit when everything else is basically $50.
Yeah,
I
so
see.
just to let you know, the chief recommended, those numbers are based, recommended from the chief, is your call and whatever you want to change. So it's a good discussion item, so I don't think we have any
Do you-
preference.
Do you think that we need to once again look at the fee schedule for not only this, but other things of our fees in the village?
Yeah, I mean, they just don't make any sense. I mean, some of the ones that they left at 30 are pretty much the same type violation of what is at 50.
Yeah, one is the overtime parking.
Yeah, if you want to change it, I mean,
And-
the chief and the court would like to get, hopefully this adopted tonight so they
Okay.
can enforce it.
We could, and then we
So
can-
we go with modified again, so if
Right.
you want to make some changes now, go for it. I don't think
Right.
it matters.
What are your thoughts of maybe making them all 50 to be
Yeah.
consistent?
Yep, be consistent,
Sounds good to me.
We'll accept
especially ones with,
Yeah, leave it at 200.
unregistered vehicles on the
30s to
street. I
50.
mean, that's,
Yeah.
why is
So you
that
wanna do
30
all
and-
the 30s to 50?
I would say all the 30s to 50,
Okay.
Okay.
That's easy to
if
do.
if everybody's in agreement with that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay, thank you. And I like the other.
Yeah.
It's 30. So you might as well, at that point,
Mm.
just say all the fees would be 50 other than the $200 for
That handicap.
the handicap parking.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Good thinking, man.
Yep, good.
Thank you.
Good catch, Dan.
Yep, all right. So with those changes included, so other than the handicap, they'll all be $50. And can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. All right, and the next one is a peddler's permit for hot dogs. We like hot dogs. So I understand we have Pete Colasar here this evening, and he's asking for a peddler's permit. And I understand you took over Jody Carroll's hot dog truck?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to come up and say a few words?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I took over Jody's hot dog truck. This is 1975. It's the old Buchanan Fire Department's rescue truck. And I used to help Jody with it years ago, and then COVID shut us down. So the truck did sit for 3 years, and I retired in November, so I needed something to do, so I bought the truck from Jody, but it needed a lot of work, and I had to gut it, and it's got all new equipment in the truck. I had to do all engine work on it, so right now it's running, so I'm ready to roll with it. Just looking for permission to get a peddler's license, and I'm gonna have it parked in. I got permission from St. Christopher's Church, and I'll be parked in the lower right side corner right there.
Oh, good. All right, good. It'd be nice to see a hot dog truck back out there again. Good. All
Great.
right, good
And
idea.
I'll make sure I keep everything clean and
I'm sure you will.
no issues going on with that.
All right, good. Thank you.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, great. Okay, I'd like to make a motion authorizing peddler's permit for Pete Colazar.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good. And when will you start? Next week?
As soon as I can.
Okay.
When do I need to come to the,
Then that Sharon can tell you.
tomorrow? And I'll be able to start after I get that license?
He's ready to go.
He's ready.
Okay.
Thank you, boys.
Sure. Okay, information from officers and departments, justice reports, where are we? March, $1,085. What do we got here? April, 2,088. We have, February, 3,789, $3,789. Another March, 1,841. And I think we're kind of caught up, we're pretty much caught up on the court. Good, that's great. Okay, police reports.
It's me now, I guess.
That's you, I guess. now.
Okay.
Yep.
The police report, we have the month of February here. They had a total of 121 calls, 5 citizens assist, 2 motor vehicle accidents, 20 property checks, 3 fire calls, and lots of other things here. Traffic tickets for disobeying, 5 for disobeying a traffic control device, and 16 speeding tickets. I understand that. That's for February. For March, they had 210 calls. They had 12 citizens assist, 8 motor vehicle accidents, 31 property checks. And that's just about, I can read off every little line here, but that's,
Just, we
It's one or
usually do
two here.
the bigger
so, that's it.
things that stick out. Okay, thank you, Bob. Let's see, highway report.
March 2024 highway report, 69 tons of household garbage, 11 tons of bulk and dumpsters, 11 tons of dumpsters only, 4 tons of bag leaves, 1.4 tons of metal. In the report, I think they're pretty much finished up with the break room in the highway garage, which is also the art room for the camp. I don't know how much more work they have to do there, but it looks like they're pretty much wrapping it up.
Okay.
We had some complaints about the parking lot at the post office and in Fat Sal's parking lot. They did some maintenance over there and cleaned all that up. Where are we with the street sweeping, Marcus? I saw the street sweeping out.
I think it'll start, forget the date.
Monday.
Monday, right?
13th,
Yeah,
14th, and
so,
15th.
everybody sees the signs out there for no parking on the street sweeping areas. I think it's all dated, so just look for the signs and stay out of the way. That's pretty much it. They did a lot of maintenance on their vehicles, get ready for the summer, and they helped a lot with the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And that's it.
All right, thank you. No. Okay, wastewater treatment plant. Let's see, March, treated 14 million gallons, sludge removal 175,000 gallons. And it's interesting, the precipitation, we had a heavy March, 8.4 inches. So we still have some little more I&I work to do there. For February, 9 million gallons, sludge removal, 91,000 gallons. And you can see the precipitation is 2.69. Okay, building department.
Want me to do it?
Yeah, could you, Anthony? Thank you.
Building department, from this January 1st to January 31st, right? Is that the one?
Not the, Was there a report this month? No.
Did he come, I thought I saw a report. I'm sorry, I thought I saw a report. There is none. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah,
I
there
thought
is
I
none.
saw it. With- Between all these reports.
it's a lot of reports.
Everything is satisfactory.
That's right. It's all good.
Peter's doing a good job.
Thank you. Buchanan Engine for February, 5 EMS assist, automatic alarms 1, gas emergencies 1, mutual aid 1, and motor vehicle accident 1. For March, 2 structure fires, 5 EMS assist, automatic alarms 2, mutual aid 3, and motor vehicle accident 1, with a total of 13 calls. Okay, planning board, we have the minutes for November 23rd, December 20th, and March 28th, received and filed. Zoning board, February 13th and March 13th, received and filed. There is no prosecutor's report, attorney's report. Stephanie, do you have anything for us this evening?
I don't have anything else for you this evening.
Okay.
Somebody has questions.
Okay, whoopsie. Okay, so Marcus, what do you have for us this evening?
A couple of things. First of all, the crosswalks that we talked about with the town, confirmed that the town wants to split the cost, and they will not charge it for the engineering cost. So it's up to the village board. They want confirmation that the village wants to go with them 50/50 on the expense, on the construction cost. That's the engineering will be on their dime and no cost to the village on that. So they want to get a response.
I have a
from the village.
question on that, Mark.
Yes,
I noticed the mark out, they're gonna mill and pave that road.
correct.
So this is a prepaid thing, so it has to happen soon.
That's why they want to find, yeah,
All right, so they're really not giving us much time to, so we need to have an answer sooner than later.
that's correct.
Mhm.
And their estimated cost is between 80, I think 80 to 100.
80 to 100 is what was stated in the
And
email.
it's 50/50 split.
But what was the amount that George had estimated?
George estimated based on our contractors' price bid, it'd be for the item cost, for both would be 60,000. That's what he estimated, based on the cost that we got from our contractor who's doing work in the village right now. Now, of course, the town will have to go out to bid, our contractor can bid on it, but I don't know whether, they're not gonna hold the price that they gave us.
Is there a scope of how far they're bringing that? Like, is there a scope of their drawing? Do we have a drawing?
No.
They haven't finished their
They haven't started, they say they wanna find out we're gonna go with them, if not, they're not gonna do anything.
So they're just throwing a number out there, because there's nothing to bid on.
Correct.
So they're just saying 80 grand
That's their estimate.
out of the air.
Yes, 80 to 100 out of the door, with no discussion with
No.
any specific.
No, because we discussed expanding the curb line to bring the crosswalk onto Bannon Avenue.
Correct.
The same, yeah, so.
I think that's what they discussed when we met with them. They agreed with that. I think when you met with the engineer that day and the
Yeah,
supervisor,
we were all
they were
out there.
talking about, but no, we have not seen a drawing.
But
that we
how's,
don't wanna do.
wait,
So
how
you
how
think
is
it's
the
80
road
grand?
drawn?
Yeah,
Didn't
what
we
about
have-
the-
That's the engineer's court, engineer's idea what hit, but, because he does all the work for the town. He said, based on the work I've seen in the past, this is what I think it's gonna be. Now, he won't know until we go out to bid, but that's what his estimated cost is.
But didn't we
And
have
does
a
that
drawing?
give us, is that our limit, 80? Like,
It's
so.
the
if
80
it-
to 100.
if it ex- oh,
It's the 80 to 100,
I don't know.
total cost.
And George's estimate was 60
60.
with the contractors that we're using now. It's just like a big swing of numbers.
Did George's include what Anthony just said? Bringing the sidewalk in?
Yes.
That's a big difference.
Yes. So we want our own to be 60 for both intersections. If we split it, even 100,000 would be $50,000 each community. So,
Can we move,
Yeah.
I mean, I want to talk about this.
yeah,
I think.
okay,
I think,
There's a little more we need to look at.
yeah, there's a little more we need to look at before we get.
Yeah.
all right.
I agree.
Okay, they just want to find out what the answer is. So I
It's
don't
kind of
know.
hard to make a decision.
Want to have a meeting with them? It's up, want to have a meeting with, we can have a quick Zoom call with the town engineer and talk about it, if that's what you like. So
I'm just confused why they wouldn't pre-pave, be mandated to put the ADA ramps in anyway.
Yeah, I think they
Being
are.
that it is their sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
They do maintenance on it, so
before they actually pave it, why they wouldn't be mandated to put the ADA ramps in, be compliant with the rest of the state.
Right, right.
Yeah, something's not right.
No, I mean, it just doesn't, I think they're trying to get us on the hook for something. I think we need to
That we're gonna
research.
do anyway, yes.
Yeah.
All right, further discussion on that. Then the other thing we discussed with the water main breaks, reach out to our neighboring communities. So the Village of Croton, they said they'll be willing to discuss that with us. They want to have a meeting. Maybe if a board member wants to be there with their mayor and their manager. And also the town is willing to have a meeting as well to discuss that and discuss what the scope of work is going to be for emergency services for water main breaks. And both the town and the village are open for a discussion, understanding that if they have something else going on, they're take priority before the village. So if we have both,
Makes
we can
sense.
talk about both. So they want to have a meeting, maybe one board member and their supervisor and myself and their manager, and Becker will be Becker by himself and his engineer. So if the board wants to set that up, let me know. We want to set that up. to
I
have a
think it's-
discussion.
I think it's a good idea, yeah.
Yeah. I think either Anthony or Bob needs to be involved in that conversation
Yep.
with
Yeah, I
them.
would agree.
All right, so I'll set up some timeline. I'll send it to the board, and we can discuss the timeline for that.
Good.
And Marcus, just to shed a light on that's so we could avoid having to go third party to
Correct.
a
Out of
private
pocket.
entity. Yep,
Mhm. Exactly.
trying to save tax dollars.
Yep.
Thank you.
Marcus,
no
I just
problem.
want to go back to the crosswalk, so everyone, we talk about stuff sometimes, and the audience doesn't always. So what we were looking at doing were a crosswalk, we had gotten a complaint from someone, so the crosswalk would be on Kings Ferry, but on our Bannon Avenue, across our Bannon Avenue, and then also Tate Avenue on the Kings Ferry side. So at the very end of Tate Avenue, there would be a potential crosswalk there and a crosswalk across from Bannon Avenue, just so everybody understands what we're talking about with a crosswalk.
And both those crosswalks are shared by the town of Cortland on each side, correct, Trace?
It's their sidewalk,
Yeah.
yeah. It's our road.
It's
So
our
that's,
road.
that's
Yeah.
why the town's involved.
The other thing, the other item I want to briefly discuss, and we can have more discussion, is we discussed about the tower, the balloon went up and stuff like that. Just because they talked about the lease, and also somebody has to review the lease, and also talk about what the payment's going to be. I did some research. I found a company that I shared with the board. Their emphasis is to work with municipalities to negotiate a lease on behalf of the village, look at what the payment could be for a tower. If the board wants to consider to talk to them, they can come to a workshop, discuss it. Any fee will come out of the escrow account that the tower company has to set up, so it'll be no cost to the taxpayers. Maybe opportunity for you guys to talk to somebody that knows what a tower lease looks like and what the village should be looking for. So I want to throw that out, instead of us, I really have very little experience with towers,
Yeah.
and make sure that the village interest is protected.
This is all new to us, all of us, too.
Yeah.
I
Okay?
think that's
Yeah.
a good idea.
All right,
Yeah.
so
So we're doing the right thing.
they're available on the 20th, so we can come in over Zoom, you have a discussion with them, and then if you decide to move forward, we can sign the agreement. If not, that's fine, but at least he's a wealth of I talked to him on the phone, I had to hang up on it, but he'll just keep on talking about towers. So you're gonna have to calm him down a little bit and
That's
just
right.
ask specific questions. But-
Passionate about it.
Yeah, he's very passionate.
He's passionate.
He's very passionate. And I think, and that's it for me. Thank you. Oh, I got a couple items in the executive session, but
Okay.
we'll get to that later on. Thank you.
So the balloon, I don't know what board members went there, but the balloon, I guess the balloon test went well on Saturday morning. I know a lot of people are happy about it because there's a lot of areas here we don't have cell service, so people are happy that, we'll have that. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about Code Red.
Oh, yeah.
We when Entergy was here, it was difficult to negotiate with Entergy at one point to get the Code Red system. At one time, it was this big piece of equipment before everything went digital. So they felt that because the town had it, that, going back, that we didn't need it. But at one point, we finally convinced them that we needed it too. I know we don't use it all the time. It's a fine line too, because you don't want people getting calls every day because they're going to get annoyed. But there are times that it's important to have it. I know, Marcus, you had sent out an email about the cost of it. And I go back to the day, I don't know if anybody remembers this, there was an accident on Albany Post Road. and the guy jumped out of the car, ended up wandering through the whole village, and people were scared. They didn't know what was going on. So, and it was, we had no way to communicate with people. You know, people were texting me and calling me, and I had spoken to the police department, but I had no way of reaching out to tell people, like, okay, there was an accident, there's a guy wandering through the village, and the cops are after him, and so it was kind of scary. People were upset. They didn't know why, was this guy dangerous? So I just go back to that and just, it was just another way to communicate with people. And the people I spoke to, I said, the only thing I can tell you is put all the lights on around your outside house, and this way, you don't have anybody hiding around your house. But I just felt bad because I just, I couldn't get that information out to everyone. So I think the code red is important to continue it, but adding into the cell tower, we will get money from the cell tower, which might help, compensate for the fee of that. Cindy, how much was that a year? I forget, again, for this,
Last year, it was $2,800. I don't know what it's going to be this year.
for the code red. So it's not some crazy fee.
No, it's actually on my list to speak about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I quite honestly think we underutilize it. And a prime example is the street sweeping is coming up next week.
Mhm.
We should be sending out the call on that. We changed the overnight parking in relation to the winter months. We're gonna, you just don't know, what kind of winter you're gonna have. So to me, I think it's a needed service, and that we should utilize it more. That's my feeling.
Yeah, so we will have a code red go out on Sunday evening to remind people Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday if they could keep their cars off the road, so that the sweeper can come in and do the job.
So I actually spoke to Code Red today. So we do have 1,100 calls that go out, but there are only 200 people that signed up. The rest are from their national database, which means they could still live here or they could not. So as long as they're on the database, they're going to get the call. So he did suggest, they sent me some flyers and things that maybe we could put in our tax bill or our water bill, just to try to promote people to sign up for Code Red again.
Good.
Sharon, how many times is on the newsletter do you put it down?
It's on there every month. Yes, but maybe
No, but I
another
think Cindy
flyer.
brings up a good point.
Yeah.
If there's a form actually in front of them, maybe they'll be a little more proactive in registering and sending it in, and, maybe we need to do a better job of communicating it, but I think it's a useful source to be able to get a message out.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay. All right,
All right, good.
go ahead. You have anything else, Marcus?
Just executive from you.
Okay, all right. We spoke about the balloon test. Tomorrow, if there's a trustee available, I am going to have a conversation with MTA about painting the bridge coming into the village. I mentioned at the last meeting, so that's going to be at 1 o'clock. So if anyone would like to join in with me. Cindy, the MTA tax that comes out of the village every year, I think is about $54,000. Because I heard there's a little grumbling that they're tight on funds. So, yeah. And I'll tell you, the last time it got painted, it was Mike Cherico, who lived right by the bridge there. And he had worked for the railroad, and he knew somebody in the railroad that could make that happen. So Mike is no longer with us, unfortunately, but, let's see what we can do about getting that painted. Let's see, at the last decommissioning oversight board meeting, it was another joy. The anti-nuclear people are really pushing to have the tritiated water still stored on site. They are looking at another building there to have it stored inside the building. So this is just, I think their agenda, my personal opinion is just to stall the decommissioning, actually. And the original agreement, when we had, it was the safe decommissioning of the property, timely, this has not ended up being timely at all. and the restoration of the property. That was the agreement. So with everything that's going on with the anti-nuclear people, the timely part has gone out the window. But what was interesting, I don't know if anybody watched the meeting, but Senator Harkam and Dana Levenberg spoke up and said they were willing to start discussions with the village and have conversations about other potential funding. Tom Cogden, who's the executive director of the Decommissioning Oversight Board, he works for the state and the Public Service Commission, said the chances of the cessation fund being refunded would not be possible because there's so many other communities that have used that funding. So we're looking for some type of a funding source from the state because it's not our fault that this decommissioning has been held up and the state is involved with the holdup. And I really need to say something very important. We're all looking to have everyone on this board, everyone is looking to have safely decommissioned. There's no one that is not looking to do that. So I just want to put that out there because things get turned around and you're saying this, you don't want it done safe. No, we all want it safely. This is our property within our village, so we want to be able to reuse this property again, so. Let's see. So there's some training meetings. Now, Marcus, you're going to PERMA tomorrow, and Cindy is going to PERMA. And that is a training for workers' comp. So that's like a 3-day training. So that's good. Next week is the New York Conference of Mayors. And that's for villages. It's for cities. And they're really good. They're very, they're an advocacy group for the communities, and they're also for training. And so there's a training next week that I'll be going to, and hopefully in the fall, some of the other board members, they have like 2 trainings a year, and it's really good. They have different topics they cover, and I've learned so much over the years from them. Let's see, what else? Busy, right? Mm-hmm. And, okay, the other thing I wanted to mention is this Thursday night, May 9th, the Westchester Municipal Officials Association will be having, the town of Cortland will be sponsoring the meeting. And it will be my last meeting as president. And the Westchester Municipal Officials Association is also an advocacy group for the 45 municipalities within Westchester County. And it has been such an honor for me to be the president. I have learned so much working with this group. It's from different communities around the county, and just talking to other mayors and supervisors and the issues that they're dealing with. And I will tell you, I was very lucky to have a very strong, hardworking, and a phenomenal group I worked with. I mean, they set up subcommittees for different things, the housing, because that was a runaway train last year. So they came to some type of a middle ground. And believe it or not, some people around the county want the housing. They want to increase their housing, affordable housing, et cetera, et cetera. Also, we got into civil service. There's subcommittees on the civil service. So it's just a wide range of different subjects. And so I will end my presidency on Thursday. So, but it was very interesting and educational for me. Dan, we'll start with you this evening.
All right, just a few things that I have. The board, we were offered a tour of Certainteed, which we went over and toured over there, got a pretty good feel of what exactly they do, the process of how they make the drywall, how they get it down to Manhattan, and quite honestly, it's a pretty well-oiled machine, and when you get over there and you see the operation, and I think they're a real true partner within the village, so looking forward on building on that relationship with them. Another item I had was I'd really like to have a discussion in relation to parking on Tate Avenue and Westchester Avenue. It's becoming a problem. There's cars overnight parking on Tate Avenue. There's cars parked too close to the intersections, as Chief Outhouse had mentioned, where a piece of apparatus may not be able to get through. I saw a situation last week, just as I'm going down to get mail out of my mailbox. Of course, I'm on the corner of Tate and First, and the light had been red. There was 2 cars parked just past the First Street on Tate Avenue going towards the circle. And as soon as that light turns green, it's like both sides want to go. And the 2 cars had, you know, the line of traffic going out towards the circle blocked, and somebody crossed the double yellow line. Looked like it was a younger driver. Nearly clipped the other car. I called Officer Reg. He responded, came down. He knew exactly he saw what I was talking about. So I would like to have a discussion and bring it up for discussion on the floor for putting up no parking signs on Tate Avenue and also Westchester Avenue. I think it's just way too dangerous to be parking on the street. Those were my 2 main items. And, I had the pleasure of going to a fundraiser for United for the Troops, which is an organization based out of Mayapack that really takes care of our troops that are stationed overseas and deployed. It was their gala. It was a wonderful event. Representative Lawler was there, a lot of dignitaries, but I would suggest anybody that's looking for an organization to get involved with that supports our troops, I would look into this organization, United for the Troops. I, myself, and my wife are looking to get actively involved, so if anybody's got questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. That's it.
All right, thanks, Dan. And also someone brought up about the corner of Henry Street. I don't know if we have to, I hate to say this, do a traffic study or anything like that. And, you know, with the Tate Avenue in Westchester, you might be able to change the midline. But I think where you're talking about, I don't think even if you
There's not-
and do one side of the street parking, I don't
just
think
not
there's
enough
enough.
room.
Yeah.
It's just not enough room.
I think when you get down on the other side of Tate Avenue, potentially, but
Yeah.
where you're talking about the corner of First Street, there's no room. For any parking, it's tough. And then also, I know Chris Mason had brought up about, in front of the group home, it's a dangerous intersection. I know I'd
Yeah,
mentioned it to
Annie
Marcus.
mentioned Westchester Avenue.
Yeah, and Westchester, right?
Yeah, after the last meeting, I talked to the police chief and with David, and I asked him to maybe get some ideas together and maybe come to the workshop meeting. And then we have a discussion with the police department as well. The fire chief more than welcome to attend as well, and we can fine tune exactly what makes safe for everybody. So we'll put it, if the plan is okay, we'll put it on the 28th and have
Yeah, no,
Shane
that'd be
attend
good.
that meeting.
Yeah,
Good.
appreciate that.
All right, good. Bob, we'll go down this way this
Okay.
time.
I don't have too much, but I'd just like to follow up on what Dan said about the Certainty trip. I was very impressed by the well-oiled machine, as Dan put it, because they really have their stuff together down there. The beautification committee had their plant sale this past weekend, so I took the opportunity to go out there and have a chat with them about the trees, which we've talked about in the past. And we had a lengthy conversation about that, and we come, to an agreement possibly of not taking all the trees down, taking certain ones down that really are in need to come down, open up the village circle a little bit, and getting someone to really, an arborist or someone to come in and really just take care of those other trees and trim up for us. The 2 trees we were talking about are the ones right before you come into the entrance to the hall here. That one that's kind of like hooked off a little bit, because there's nothing left to it. The trucks have beaten it up pretty good. And, what was that?
Oh, somebody
Bless you.
sneezing again.
And the other one is actually in front of Teresa's store on the other side of the street there, the bigger one right in the middle. It's just really a big tree. And it's,
I know you guys have always tried to trim it.
there's 3 very close together there. We thought that if we took that one out and left the other 2 there, it would kind of open up the storefront and also leave some trees there.
Okay.
So what they're asking for is us to have the highway or have someone come in to trim those trees up and make them look a little bit neater, and try to see if we can revive them and get them back to a better shape.
On that aspect, we had a discussion with Anthony about this. I didn't know this, the town has an arborist now. And the town, and actually came and take a look at the tree next to the tennis courts before we took it down. So thank you, Anthony,
Oh, good.
for making
Yeah.
that connection. So we
Right.
can reach out to him again, what trees, and he can come in and make some suggestions on that too, if you like.
Okay, so I don't know what the board's pleasure is, but I think that those 2 trees are a good idea to take out? Do we need to agree as a board here to take that out? And I think we'll open up things up a little bit in front of your building there, Teresa?
Well,
And
I mean,
it'll-
that's nice, but that is nice, but I wasn't, I wasn't asking for that, so
Oh,
I
no,
just
no,
want
no,
to.
you weren't, I'm not saying you're arrested for it, but we were, I was across
I don't want to
looking
put that
over.
out there, it's not because
Yeah,
of me.
I understand that. It wasn't
Yeah.
because of Teresa. We were sitting across the street by where the Christmas tree is. And you look over and that whole building is just covered with trees. Two are pretty far apart and the one in the middle is just a huge tree. That's just out of shape. It's up against the building. So, and Teresa did not ask me anything about that. I mean, I think everyone knows that I wouldn't have a problem taking them all down.
Well, I,
But they
but it's like,
convinced me
what are
not
you
to. Mrs.
replacing,
Williams.
you know,
They convinced
with,
me not to, once we start looking around and try to get those things back into some kind of a better shape, and maybe we can keep it there every year.
have
and,
some
uh,
shade out there.
And that's all I really have. Thank you.
And before we finish,
Oh, I do have one more thing.
just to let you know too, is regarding the tree, again, to the town, they have a contract for a tree removal company. So we can actually piggyback off that contract as
Okay.
well. So we can't do it ourselves for some reason, we can piggyback off that contract too. So
Okay.
let me know what you want to do. Like I said, we can start meeting with the town to take a look at it.
I did have one more thing. I just want to know what's going on with the electric sign. I know we have it delivered here. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I reached out to a couple more electricians. Fanny is actually gonna come in tomorrow to take a look at it and give us a new proposal. Hopefully I'll get a proposal soon, and say we'll go with Fanny, because nobody else is coming back to us.
Because I know we did discuss that. We discussed maybe where we're
With the
going with the
location.
sign, maybe actually have a little something, an outlet or two by the pavilion.
Correct,
there.
that's gonna be included in the
The gazebo.
proposal. Yep, that would
Okay.
be included in the proposal.
That's it.
Are we going to bring up anything about the fire truck?
So let's talk about fire chief sent email today. There was some possible additions to the truck. I know the fire committee had a meeting. They decided not to go along with it. So the fire chief is presenting back to the village board. So the village board is the commissioners of the fire department. Decide if the village board would like to move forward with it. But I'll let Bob, since he knows more of the details, maybe explain a little bit of what's entailed and see what the committee talked about.
Well, I'd like to actually ask the chief to come and explain that.
Okay, chief.
Okay, good.
He's here.
Sure, thank you, guys. About a month ago, we realized that the truck that was being engineered did not have what we come to like on the 2021 was the front painted grille of the American flag. And with that, we noticed on the 21 that we had an air inlet that most likely should have been an auto eject. So I had called the company sales rep, and he said, yeah, Bobby, that's probably going to cost you about $4,000. Okay. So we had a committee meeting about it, and for the $4,000, we thought it was okay to go ahead and let you know that, hey, maybe we can afford that $4,000. So when the committee went to him and said, okay, we'd like to do that, let's write it up. He wrote it up, and it comes out to be $9,148. The committee met, and the committee said, absolutely not for that cost. However, I know some people like the American flag, so if the truck came in without the American flag, and you guys are the Board of Fire Commissioners that came in without it, I just want you to know that this is why it's not coming in unless, of course, you deem otherwise. But for the total for the two items was going to be $9,148. Again, the committee at the fire department said no, but I just wanted you to know that when, if it doesn't come in with the flag, that's
I
why.
know why.
Just to make sure, the flag was like a little bit over 3,000. What's the itemized list
So-
of items?
yeah, so-
Maybe the board and the public understand what each item is.
So, so one of the items that's been on our trucks for many years is what they call an air inlet. It's a Kuzmal air eject. And you plug the truck in overnight when you're done, and it supplies the brakes with air. So immediately when you get in the fire truck, you don't have to build up air, it's already there. You start the truck, you pull the brake, the truck rolls out the door. In the past, as the trucks get older, they come up with little leaks, And the apparatus, sometimes you need to step on it. That means you need, well, the diesel fumes are now going into the firehouse, getting all over the gear. And so auto eject helps us, supplies it with air. You pull the truck out, just normal, like you're going, get in your car and drive it away. That total cost to add that was $3,171. That's an auto air eject. It does come with an air inlet. The danger to that is if we plug the truck in and someone forgets to pull it out, because it doesn't eject and they pull out the door, they're pulling out the system and the piping to the air. So we can live with that. I mean, we had in the past until we changed things. So that cost right there was $3,171.79. Then they added another, for being weatherproof, they added another $469.61 to that. So just for that item alone, you're looking at just over $3,600. Then came the interesting part. For a grill polished stainless steel painted mesh screen, front of the cab where the American flag would be, that alone is $3,502.37. If you wanted the American flag emblem painted on it, that was an additional $3,496.35. I actually had a little argument with them about this. I said it's totally outrageous. You know, we work with a tight budget. So, again, I just would like to bring it back to the board. You are the fire commissioners. You know, you should know that this option was on a table, and the fire department said, you know, hey, look, it's okay if you want it. It's up to you. If you don't want it, it's okay. But at least you had the option to know about it and what was transpiring.
So for the flag altogether, it would have ended up being like $6,000.
$6,998.72.
Because I think when we got it on the other truck, gosh, I think it was around $2,000.
I think it was about $1,800 to $2,000.
Wow,
How did it go up so much?
that is huge.
The other
big
issue
bump
is
up.
that the answer to that question, Mayor, is that this truck is so far along in engineering that they really, you know, they'll hit you hard if you need a change. That's the key.
Okay.
And we don't need a change for that amount of money, but just wanted you to be aware of that's where we're at.
Wow, it's triple the price, yeah. It's a shame, because it does look nice, but that, for triple the price.
I agree.
So,
So, what's the answer?
Any other questions about it, or?
what did the committee
Said no.
said no also?
Our committee said no because of the cost. Originally, they said yes at $4,000, but that doesn't seem to be what the cost is when he finally got it printed out. But we wanted you to know that, you know, that's where we're at. We, you know, of course, we agree that it's a lot of money, and just to keep you on board of where we're at.
Right. Yeah, I think the cost is pretty substantial for what we want to do with that at
It
this
is.
time.
This also keeps you in the loop regarding the fire truck and where
Oh,
we
yeah,
are
no,
with it. The
thank
fire
you.
truck is scheduled to be, start to be built on July 29th.
Huh.
That's the start date, and it'll be completed approximately 2.5 weeks after that.
Wow. All right, good.
Okay.
Very good. Any other comments or questions from the board? No, we're good? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to the circle, Marcus and Bob. Did they want to replace anything where the tree is that's coming down, or just leave it open?
Well, we'll have to have the discussion with the highway department, probably close them up the way we close all the other ones up with concrete or
Oh, okay.
things like that.
And then the other thing,
Yeah, well, they did actually ask if it would be possible for them to have some kind of a budget of some sort to help out with some of the things they like to do. I don't know if that's something we can do or not,
Yeah, you can do.
you know?
The other boss says, whatever you tell me to do, we do.
Well, I'm just curious, because like you have the Buchanan Day and all that stuff. I mean, do we put a budget line in for that, or and if we do, where would it go? I asked them to come up with some kind of a number for me.
We got money if you guys want to do so.
Maybe some of our developers want to invest in the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the obvious thing.
It's a good idea.
That
It
would be
it
nice,
benefits
those
them for
cement
bringing in
containers, those
tenants, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's continue have the conversations with the the beautification committee, and the only other thing, because when we did the circle, we have to reinstall, and we have to figure out the plaque for the clock. Yeah, we need to reinstall that.
Yep.
So, that was just, it came up while Bob was talking about the circle, so. Wilda, what do you have for us tonight?
Let me bring it up. So I have to thank Marcus and Cindy because they arranged for 2 days for me to have orientation and meet all the department heads. And I have to tell you that as a resident, before becoming a trustee, I had no idea of how much work goes into running the village. And I have to tell you, I was very impressed. And I had the opportunity to meet many people and understand their jobs and how their jobs affect us as residents and make our lives much easier. For that, I'm very grateful. I also met with Jacqueline Pasquale. She is the director of the Recreation Department, and she has great ideas and activities in place for the students that are attending summer camp. I intend to visit in the next 2 weeks so that I can witness for myself what is happening and how I can support to ensure that the students have a great summer, or the participants. As a teacher, I'm talking about students, right?
Campers.
Yeah, the campers, there we go, campers. I want them to be happy campers. I like that. I also teach ESL at the Montrose Library, and many of my students were asking me questions about the high school and how they can get more involved, what type of sports are available to them, what type of supportive services. And because I did not have those answers, I worked with the director of the library, and we contacted the superintendent, as well as the executive director of curriculum and instruction. We shared the information the students provided to us. They were very interested, so I'm meeting with them May 20th to discuss the matter further. And that's it.
And what is, I know what ESL is, but for other.
English as the second language.
Okay,
And these are individuals that are new to our community.
all right, thank you.
Mhm.
Anthony, what do you have for us tonight?
I don't have much. A couple things we touched on tonight, the code red, I think it's important that we keep it. I think we utilize it more. If we have it, let's keep it. I think we should utilize it more, like Dan said. It's important to get the information out, especially if there's emergencies. So I don't think we get rid of that. As far as the no parking, Dan, I agree with you, the no parking. One way to tackle that is to, no parking, like for the situation you had, should be 20 feet off the curb, maybe 25 feet off of the corner. You know, any intersection, keep the no parking back, at least 20, 25. I know Chief brought that up last time, because his apparatus can't make the turns, so it also benefits you in the situation that you saw as well. The paving is going on Gallagher's almost, the curbs are almost complete, I think, you know.
That's all finished.
They're not almost complete?
They're finished.
How is it going over there? Is it,
They're supposed to be finishing this week in Galveston.
okay, good. Well, I hope they finish up soon. Now, if I was on the job,
It would have been done, right, Anthony?
yeah. I mean, come on. And that's really it. Oh, and there's a lot of people walking on Tate Avenue around the lake. Just slow down and be careful. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Good weather's coming around the corner. That's all.
And we have to, this is, the work that's happening now is the work that was supposed to be finished last year's
Yeah.
work. So we still have more work coming this year, and I think we need to move that forward
Yeah, one for George. List, yes.
because, you know, we don't want to end up in October again, and we usually do. But, what did I want to say about that?
They seem to always put us at the end of the list,
Yeah.
at their paving schedule.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
they
then,
Well,
can
after
bring us
they're
up.
done with Gallagher Street, they have Henry Street to do yet?
Yes.
yeah, we
Yeah,
still have that
more they gotta
section.
do, yes.
What I'd like to, we'll talk about it still, but our village parking lots are getting a little hairy, scary. Especially Fat Sal's, and I know it's, the business across uses it, but the people that live in the area park there, but it's gotten really bad, and I'm just
I asked George the
concerned.
price to do that.
Well, I think it was,
Is that
last
part of the
time it was
wetland?
like 40,000.
Is that in the wetlands or?
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah,
right off the back of it is all that
Which is a
wetlands.
shame, because it's such a small postage stamp, it's really cramped, that parking lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when you go there to patron,
Yeah,
as
it's-
a patron, to try and park in that lot, it's difficult, but yeah, it is getting a little beat up, man.
Yeah, I asked them to get a price for that too.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right. we'll
Yeah,
look
the
at that.
spots shouldn't be in the middle. They should be only be around the perimeter.
I agree,
Yep.
yep.
All right,
And if
good.
you did it that way, you could make an entrance and an exit, but we don't want to do a curb cut there, but it would utilize the parking lot better.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But 40,000, you got a price for that?
That was last year, I think. It was, I think that was the number that came in, and we decided not to do it.
For this year too.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's probably, you know, it's not that anymore. Yeah, okay. All right, so, comments from the floor. Any comments from the floor, questions, comments, concerns? Nothing? Okay. All right, because then I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session for negotiations and personnel. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Have a great Buchanan day.
Yeah.
Anthony, I want to talk to you.